Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday, Sunday. Oh my goodness. Has it been a day trying to get this recorded, trying to get this recorded started, but here we are. So thanks for joining. Happy Sunday, Sunday. We're actually all sitting in the same room today. As you all know, we don't all live in the same state. We live kind of far apart, so we don't always get a chance to come together, and we are together today. So we've been enjoying some beverages. We had a nice dinner together, and we've been trying to get this recorded started for about an hour, and here we are. So, of course, we've been going around the table too saying, oh, you guys, we got shirts. Look, yeah, we got shirts.
We got tatas for days, yes.
I just said we've got tatas for days.
So speaking of tatas, kind of relevant to the conversation we're going to have today. And the conversation is, I forgot what we decided, to gray or not to gray, or to dye.
To die or not to die. DYE versus DIE.
Yeah, because DIE is not an option, but DYE, that is an option. So I am team dye all the way. I'm 51 years old. I've been going slightly gray, just at the roots for a couple of years. While we're talking about it, we might as well show it off. So I am definitely team dye, at least for the foreseeable future. I'm 51. I think that's fairly young-ish. I do like the elegant gray. I see the women who've gone all silver or all white, and I'm like, that looks really classy, but I'm not ready for that. So maybe when I'm like late 60s, early 70s is when I'll let nature take its natural course. But for now, team dye. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. I'm team dye. Absolutely. All these roots. Do you see any roots? Any grays? No, you don't, because I'm team dye. However, I do love the silver look. My Hispanic side of the family, their hair comes in very silver, shiny hair, and I love it. And so when I get to that point, I'm thinking maybe in about 5 years, maybe I will no longer be on team dye. We'll see. We'll see. Because I want to have that youthful looking face with some silver hair. I just think that's just so classy. I really like it.
100%. It's about the skincare. I think when you consider dyeing your hair, like how is your skin looking? And is your hair going to age your skin? Because sometimes people gray pretty early. There's men especially can start to gray like in their 30s. And if their skin doesn't match their hair, then it kind of looks a little bit off. And I feel it's the same way for women. I'm really lucky. I am going to be 48 in 2 weeks, and I haven't dyed my hair since I was like in my 20s. I used to dye my hair all kinds of different colors: blue, red, blonde, a little bit of all three of those sometimes. Yes, I had a little bit of like a punk rock era in my early 20s, and now I haven't dyed my hair, like I said, in over 30 years. And I actually have people ask me sometimes if I get my hair highlighted in the gray, because now that I have bangs, like you can see my little gray wispies. But I'm also lucky because I don't gray under here like a lot of people start to gray under their ears here. And yeah, I haven't had that. So I'm very, very lucky. But I do think that even when I start graying more, I still don't think that I will dye my hair, because I feel like it's just a sign of, I don't know, like having lived life and having some stories and having some like value in my older years. Like ask me for advice. I might have some good stuff to say.
You can ask me for some advice. My dark brown hair will still show through. Extra. Let me just go ahead and throw in a hair piece too, add a little bit of length.
Don't hold back now, Shannon.
Nah.
Okay, so since we're having the conversation, we might as well bring up other things that we could consider. I'm not going to be shy about getting things nipped and tucked if I can. This is kind of a thing that runs in our family. My mother has it, this like loose skin. And what do we call it? So my husband calls it, any of you Ally McBeal fans can totally relate to this. Your waddle.
The waddle or the turkey neck. The waddle, yes, turkey neck or waddle.
The waddle. I have some of the waddle going on, and I hate it, especially when I'm doing videos for the Sunday Sunday pod, when we're sending our Sunday Sunday videos to each other. That is something that I always notice in my videos, is this loose skin. And if it's in my power to do something about it, I'm going to do it. Because, again, I hope that I, God willing, have a lot of life ahead of me. And I want to go into, every day of my life with confidence. And yes, I totally am with team confidence comes from within. It bugs me. It bugs me. So I am definitely contemplating at some point doing something about this loose, crepey turkey waddle. It makes me, I mean, I'm not to the point like where I only want to wear turtlenecks, but it does bother me. And if it's something I can do something about, I'm going to do it. Just like I dye my roots, just like some ladies get their hair, done, just some ladies get their nails done. Ladies get facials, chemical peels, have their boobies lifted. I wanna fix the waddle.
Do you think that that's more of a deeper reason? Like, maybe we're getting older and we're noticing a little bit more? We're no longer in that elastic youth where things just bounce back.
Girl, I got some bouncing over here. I do have some stuff I know you got some stuff that are bouncing too, Savvy. So don't even play. We got some bounce. We just have it in different areas. Some in the front, some in the back.
Oh my God, that totally reminds me many, many years ago. I'm sure everybody knows Oprah Winfrey, but Oprah, if you think about her, like over the last 20, 25 years, she's, gone on a weight loss journey and done a lot of things to lose weight. And I remember watching the Oprah Winfrey show, and she said that her personal trainer told her to get naked in front of the mirror, you remember, and jump up and down. And if anything shakes that isn't supposed to, so the boobies, there's a problem.
I am not doing that.
Not doing that. So I have done that.
So I'd like to piggyback on this, nip and tuck stuff. I am on board with that too. I actually already found a doctor out in California. I'll have to share his name with you. And I would like to go visit him in about 7 years. I think 55 is good. My grandmother, God bless her, she had a facelift. She went to Mexico and she died at 100 and a half and she looked great. She did it in her 50s. Yeah.
I think I'm team dye until a certain age. So I will not be dyeing after I get that beautiful silver throughout my whole entire head. And so I'm looking forward to that. Just feeling like it might make me feel a little more elegant. It brings forth some form of, I don't know, wisdom or something. It just makes you feel different. Yeah, like it just brings forth another level of elegance in our growth. And so I'm looking forward to that because it just makes me feel like I'll be more beautiful. I'll flow even more, and people will be more attracted to me at that time, even more than now. So I look forward to it.
Elegance. It's
Yeah.
beautifully well said.
See, I'm a person who goes with the flow. Color when I want to. I go gray. I think it bothers my friends and family more than it bothers me. They are like,
And can we point out that she has
fine with
actually gone back to brown? Because Minu is very, she was embracing her gray, but now she's dyed it. And I saw her and I was like, what's different? What's different? You look so good. You look more vibrant. And I was like, oh my God, you dyed the gray. It looks amazing.
I love to play. I can go gray, I can color, and somewhere I'm ready to embrace the grays, It doesn't bother me, but I believe it bothers everyone else around me. So we'll see how long will I last with my browns, or I'll try to play with gray again.
Do you guys remember when we had Miss Darlene on many episodes ago? I think it was like episode 4 or 5. I don't think of course we don't show everything because our videos are obviously longer than what you guys see posted. But Darlene made a comment specifically at Minu. Do you remember about, well, you could wear a little lipstick, you could wear a little makeup. So I get what you say that it bothers, sometimes the way we look. Yes, it bothers others more than it bothers us. But again, for myself, the gray bothers me. The waddle bothers me. If there's something I can do about it.
Unison. Rooster.
Where are our cups? We got these great cups from Scoopalicious. We might have to go dig it out and show it to you guys. Erin, you're quiet over there. What do you have to say about this? I know you got an opinion.
Team dye for me at the moment, but at some point I'll go gray. But my hair, I've got a lot of grays going on up top, so I've been dyeing and I am not ready to go gray yet. Especially, I think there's a stigma in the working world, too. I'm going through career changes. So, that's definitely been something I've thought of is like going to interview, and just not ready. I think there is a stigma of going in, gray haired and later on in your career. I see it as a sign of wisdom and beauty too, but I'm not sure our culture embraces it in that arena. Wah wah.
It's kind of funny because I see a lot of young people with gray hair and like it's a trend now. So
True.
I don't think it would be too bad for us to go that direction and gray up a little bit. Like we'll fit right in because these young girls want to be like us. Again, gray brings wisdom. We've earned our gray.
100%, yes. I have a question for all of you. Would you ever lie about your age, whether you are team gray or, you don't gray? Would you ever lie about your age?
I am
Or
forever
when's the last
plenty
time?
one. Forever plenty one. And that's all you're getting from
Did you
me.
say plenty
Plenty
one?
one. That's all
Love
you're getting from me.
that.
Plenty one.
Plenty one. Good stuff.
Okay, I'm taking that. I'm taking that. I'm
You know,
21 too.
one thing I'll tell you, I went on a trip and I recently met somebody pretty young and he lied about his age. And I was like, why are you lying? You're so young, you look so young. And he's like, well, if I tell my real age to everybody, people don't take me seriously. So he adds +5 to it anywhere. I met him at the bar and it was hilarious. I'm like, no way, you're not that age. He's like, I mean it. I said, show me your driver's license. And that's when he says, I lie. I add +5, +8, depending on a situation because it just works. So that's
What's
why
the age?
his real age was 28 and he 37.
Cougar Minu, did you hook up with him or what happened? I mean, you're out of the
I know,
country,
there's-
right? What happened?
Here's
Out
a
of the
whole
country.
other
Stay
conversation
out of the
on our
country,
cougar
right?
menu. He was
More
looking
than
for a
+5, by
cougar.
the way.
There's
Well-
lying about your
well-
age and then there's
What
lying about your age when
happens
you're
in
out of the
London
country.
stays in London.
So I think for the first time, I didn't lie about my age, but I kind of was like, I could probably go maybe 4 years younger because I did meet somebody and he's a little younger than me. And I was like, maybe I could go just a little after he told me his age. I was like, dang it. Should have said I was like 4 years younger. But that's probably the only time ever in my whole, and I'm proudly 47. That's probably the only time. And that's been most recently. And I don't even know why I even had that thought because I'm going to unmute. I'm going to go ahead and mute now because I'm not going to say anything else.
Plenty one. I think that's the name of this episode. I have never lied about my age. No, never. Never had a fake ID. Never tried to get into a bar when I couldn't.
I did all that. I just haven't
My
done it
husband
recently.
says, I can't. I'm holding my mic. So a square. Yes, that's me.
I was
It's
getting
square.
ready to agree with you and say I never lied, but then I had a memory. Well, I lied about my age in my youth a lot. Like I wanted to be older, of course, and I dated older men. So, of course, I had to ump that. I'm that bad girl. Yes, I know. Yes, I know. But, I got it together. That's why I'm plenty one now. But yes, I did lie about my age. Gave myself 2 years. I was 14 and said I was 16.
See, I have never lied about my age because I think I always like older men. But when I saw this young guy lying about his age, and I was like, how does that young brain thinks? Like, why? What is the need? If somebody likes younger people, they can still date, no harm. But funny when people actually add some number of years to their original age.
You know what? I'm going to do that next time. Next time I meet like a good looking man or just any person, I'm going to add on 5 years so they could say, dang, you look really good for your age. I'm looking good. I'm going to be like, I'm
Such a
55.
good idea. Just so you could be told, wow, you look
Yes, so I
amazing.
could-
You look so
and
good
you
for your
don't even
age.
gray. What?
Some instant confidence booster. The only time I've ever lied about my age was trying to get into shows that I was too young to go see when I was a kid, like being a teenager. But I remember wanting to be older than I was when I was little. And my mom would always say, don't wish your life away. Just be where you're at right now. And I get it now. I had no idea what she was talking about then, but
That's a whole nother topic right there. Really, that is. Wishing our life away, trying to make ourselves older than what we are, rushing through life.
What else, ladies? So we're, at the beginning of 2026. A couple of weeks ago, we had some conversations about identity and like what that means for our day-to-day lives. I know. Do you guys remember that short that I shared with you where there was this experiment where individuals were given like a scar on their face and then they had to go into a room and just have conversations with strangers? And then after they had conversations, the researchers brought them back in and asked them, how did you think those interactions went? And the people who thought who were given the scar said that they felt, judged and that people were thinking less of them, um, and that they weren't quite fitting in, just didn't feel like respected or worthy. But what they didn't realize is that right before they went into this experiment, the researchers who had put the scar had they were like, oh, let me just put a little moisturizing cream on that so it doesn't look so red. What they had actually done is they had wiped off the scar. So these individuals who went into this conversation thinking that they had these scars on their faces actually didn't. But it was that whole idea again of how are you identifying? They go in there with this identity of I'm scarred. I have, a flaw. And so how does that show up every day in our lives? So with this whole idea of beauty, of dying or not dying, and, maybe taking some drastic measures to improve our self-appearance, how is our identity affecting our day-to-day lives? Do you see yourself as the individual with the scar on their face who is getting judged? And because you have this flaw, you can't get what you want, or you're limiting yourself on opportunities. You don't believe that opportunities can come your way. You restrict yourself from talking to that young guy at the bar, Minu, because you think you have this scar on your face. Any thoughts about that?
That definitely translates to age and how old we feel and how old we look and how old we behave. I feel like we've all seen those women that maybe don't act their age, women that are in their 40 plus years that are still behaving, like Shannon said a while ago, like having hussy behavior. Not necessarily acting their age, maybe acting like 20-year-olds and, just not acting with like pure like genuinity of like who they are and what they stand for. I think that how we show up for people definitely has to do with how old we see ourselves. And I saw a study a long time ago. I think I shared it with you guys. Supposedly, we think of ourselves at a minimum 9 to 12 years younger than what we actually are. And so if you think about that, if you think about like how old are you if you're 9 to 12 years younger, and I feel like that is really accurate for me because I'm 47, but I definitely still feel like a healthy, Brent, um, like a present mother and wife as far as like, volunteering in my kids' school, like hanging out with my kids, playing with them, saying yes to date nights, even if my husband's like, let's go get a drink and play darts at 11 o'clock at night. Like 47-year-old me would be like 40. I'm like, it's after 9, it's bedtime. But 38-year-old me is like, yeah, I'm totally down. I want to go hang out and, have some drinks and shots and play darts with my husband. So yes, I'm going to do that. I think it's really important to embrace how we feel and not necessarily like what we see in the mirror, because we definitely judge ourselves and are hard on ourselves often.
Great discussion and topic. And I'll be honest with you, I was tempted at that bar. I'm like, wish I was younger, because it's all about the conditioning. And then you have to tell yourself, like, I'm 46. And I kept saying, oh, I'm 46. I can't do that. I have 2 young adult children. What will they think about me? So it is all conditioning. But then, I just said, there are very pretty girls out there. You should try. It's like, how about, would you like to go out with me on a ride? Because they had a Christmas fair going on right outside. And I said, I'm afraid of heights and all these adventure sports. He said, would you like to go? I said, only I wish I was young. I would do that. He's like, what stops you now? And I said, okay. And I went on the rides with him. And I kid you not, 30 minutes with that young guy made me feel alive. I felt 20 again. And I'm like, half of the times we are the only ones stopping ourselves, even if we feel it's like I'm telling my body, no, I can't do that. Oh, my back is going to hurt. Oh, this will happen. But I did not feel any pain. I was so much in the moment and I enjoyed. I'm like, oh, I wish I'm 20 again. I wish. And I really had a good time. Sometimes I feel we are the first ones to judge ourselves versus the world. And then then we are looking at faces. Are you judging me? But that's when you change your narrative and story and push yourself off your comfort zone.
This is the first time I'm hearing that you went someplace with this guy. I'm loving this. Hey! I think living in the moment is very important. You guys know my thing on taking a leap of faith, and the answer is always no if you don't try. And if you don't try, you don't put yourself out there, you might be missing out on a great deal. And so I'm very proud of you, Minu. Did you get his number?
No, I did not.
You know what? I am so proud of you. So proud of you. Starting 2026 off on a totally different note because the Minu of even 6 months ago probably wouldn't have done that. So I'm really, really excited that you are changing your identity
Honestly
because
speaking, you guys have been very empowering. And my daughter, she's like, if you will not live now, when will you live? She keeps telling me, Ma, what stops you? And she's the first one actually. I texted. I said, there's such a cute guy in this bar. He's perfect for your age. And then he's like, what stops you to go out with him? He's clearly hitting on you. And I'm like, nah. And then, cousins think about me. But then I just did it, and the ride with him that I would never ever do it. My kids have been telling me, get on it. Like, no, I have fear of height. I felt so liberated. I felt so good. I felt alive.
that's amazing. And you know what? We talked about this briefly on a previous episode of fear, and we're going to dive deeper into how fear stops us in a future episode, but you totally conquered that. And I think that is it's such an important lesson for yourself and for other people. Just that one little push past that fear that could totally change your life. So I'm super excited that you have stepped out of such a huge comfort zone and did like two scary things. You talked to a stranger, a male stranger, and you conquered like a fear of heights and doing something that you have probably wanted to do, but have just let your fear stop you for so many years. So honestly, like what an amazing way to start off the new year.
I think what matters is how you see yourself is what I'm thinking about in this conversation. And when we get so wrapped up in our heads about what other people are thinking, half the time they're not even thinking about us. To be honest, we're sitting here thinking it's all about us. And honestly, they're probably thinking about a million things in their heads or possibly doing the same thing too, thinking about wondering what everybody else is thinking of them. So I love this conversation because it's making me really think about how I see myself and get wrapped up into that sometimes of worrying too much about, what others' thoughts are and letting it hold you back, or how you're seeing yourself and letting it hold you back from what you really want to go after, in your dreams in life. So I love that. I'm so inspired. So I'm going to think about you, this week and you being up on a Ferris wheel. I love that. What was the tower?
Yeah, the
Oh,
tower.
that's even scarier.
The one that drops you?
One that
That's
drops
even braver.
and another one that takes you up, I think I know, very high where everything is too tiny and then you're on the chair and it swirls and then and I'm like, what just happened?
Dang, we all just thought you were talking about a Ferris wheel. You went like full on roller coaster style. That's so wild.
She's going to pull it up on her phone, so maybe we can.
One day, if I can.
That's
All
amazing.
right.
Did we get a picture of the guy too?
No.
We're not cyber stalking the guy from London. All right, Miss Savvy, what'd you have to say?
Well, I just, this has made me think about how I see myself every day. And not too long ago, Scoopalicious had made a video and was like talking about one of her friends who doesn't care and who just constantly is in love with their self. And so I think that if I was in this experiment, I wouldn't care that there was a big giant scar on my face. Like I just see beauty in myself every day. No one could tell me that I was ugly or could tell me that there was something wrong with me. I think that I had too much in my youth. People tell me that my own self-esteem brought me to a different place. Something happened in my life. One day I walked past the mirror and was like, wow, who is that fine girl right there? Like nothing could stop me. And from that moment on, I've just seen myself in that light. No one can tell me anything else different. So I was just imagining myself in this particular experiment. How would I react in the world if I had a scar on my face or was basically lied to think I had a scar on my face? I think I would embrace it. Like I would love it. Just like we were talking about the gray, I would love it. Like it wouldn't stop me from moving forward or being who I want to be.
Awesome.
Minu, did you want to share something?
I actually send it to you.
So I want to just add that I don't feel like I was always very confident. I dated somebody for many, many years, and he showed me and taught me how to love myself. And he would kiss the stretch marks, kiss the scars, and just like your body is your story. And that's how he made me feel. Like he made me feel beautiful about my story. And I will always have love and respect for him because I used to hate those things about me. You know, this body carried several children, gave birth to 3, and I have the roadmap to prove it. And I didn't love that about myself at one point in time. And now I don't care. You know, I think there might be just a point in a woman's life, and I don't know for men, that we're just like, you know what? This is who I am. This is who I'm going to show up to be. These are the scars that come with me. This is a roadmap of my life. And I love all that stuff about me now.
I think that we've talked about this individual before, and I think it's a great man who can help a woman really see herself. So again, hats off to that guy. I was thinking just as Savvy was talking about, you know, like having the audacity to walk into that room with the scar and like fully embrace it. There was this story that I heard about. This happened many years ago. This young girl who got meningitis as a young girl and ended up having her legs amputated. And she was like, I think she was a snowboarder. And I think the story was like she woke up in the hospital and like her first question, like after realizing that she had lost her limb or limbs, was, when will I be able to snowboard again? And the doctor was like, I don't think you're understanding me. You're never going to snowboard again. And basically she was like, watch me. And at that time, there were no like prosthetics that could like hook into a snowboard. So she dedicated her life to like figuring that out, and was like, I think she went to like, I don't know if she went to engineering school or like worked with engineers, but long story short, she became like the first person to actually medal in that paraplegic sport. Is that the right? I think paraplegic is the right word. Like she invented that sport in the Olympics, and like opened doors for other individuals to
And then she went
embrace.
on to go to Dancing with the Stars. She was a
Oh, you're
skier.
right.
She was adaptive skier.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's her.
Yeah.
Yes, that's who I'm talking about.
And they made prosthetics or some sort of an adjustment so she could full on do all the dances that you do in adaptive sports and dances. It was incredible. Yeah, she's amazing.
So that's an amazing reminder story of how something that we could perceive as a flaw, just exactly becomes a source of strength, and opened up her life, opened her life up to possibilities and to changing the world for so many different people. So definitely a lesson to be learned. Well, ladies, any final thoughts to share with our Sunday Sundae friends today?
I'm just thinking about how cool this conversation is. We can look at those things as reasons to hold us back in life. I think we see that a lot in our culture, where people feel really wronged and, carry that baggage through their lives, and it really does impair their ability to be able to see the possibilities and what they're capable of, despite all of the challenges that they were handed, or maybe the cards they were dealt, when they were younger, or experiences that they've had in life. I just love this because it's really made me think about like what's possible, and what it's all about how we look at ourselves and how we think about it, I guess. So, and how we can get in those mind traps of thinking negatively, but you always have the ability to change that. That's what I'm thinking about. So why I'm being quiet.
Don't believe everything you think, right?
Yeah.
All right, friends. Well, we thank you so much for joining us today on the Sunday Sunday podcast. We hope that you take a little something away from our conversation today. To die or not to die? That is the question. And always, what's your identity? What identity are you choosing to put on every morning? Because it's a choice. And scar or no scar, what do you see when you look in the mirror? All right, friends. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful Sunday, and we will see you next week. Happy Sunday, Sunday.
Bye.